Hello everyone and welcome back to another Star Wars figure review. Next up for today we're going to take a look at another Clone Wars battle pack. This time around it's the Clone Troopers and Droids battle pack, which consists of two of these Clone Troopers. We've got a Super Battle Droid, and finally we have a completely new figure. This is what is known as a retail droid, or as I like to call them, Pepsi can droids. So a very nice selection of figures in this pack. Before I get onto the figures, I'm going to give you a look at the packaging that they come in. Got the same packaging as the anti-Hailfire droid squad. Obviously the scene in the background has changed. Not entirely sure what scene that's supposed to depict. Obviously this is a mix and match of various figures that have appeared throughout the Clone Wars series and the movie, so I don't think this is really scene specific. On the back you've got an image of the figures in situ, which looks really cool, and obviously you've got individual bios for each figure and the overall description at the top. So I'll quickly read from that. Clones and droids battle each other during the Clone Wars. Each army, human and mechanical, builds its arsenal of skills and weapons throughout the conflict as new challenges arise. The Clone Troopers of the elite 327th Star Corps under Commander Bly clash with their robotic enemies throughout the entire span of the war. The troopers devise new combat strategies as the Separatists develop more powerful droids. What I actually find interesting about that description on the back of the box is the fact that the packaging refers to the clones in this pack as 327th Star Corps troopers. Now if you look at the markings, don't know how well it'll show without a comparison, but they're actually much closer of a match to the 212th as opposed to the 327th. Obviously the 327th are the troopers that serve under Commander Bly, and they have a much more of a mustard kind of shade to the colour on their armour, whereas these guys are, blatantly orange. So technically I guess these guys belong to the 212th. I'll give you a look at the clones first. Obviously this one I'm showing you is a Jet Trooper. Basically these guys are just repaints of the standard clone but with a hole in the back. Articulation wise they've got the ball jointed head, shoulders and elbows, ball hinged wrists and torso, swivel hips, ball hinged knees and ball hinged ankles, and the articulation is the same on both clones, as both of them utilise the old sculpt. As you can see they've got the DC-15S carbine pistols, and again with the backpack you do also get the alternate missile to plug into the jetpack as well, which again I don't have to hand, but it is just the missile that comes out at the bottom and you flick it at the bottom and it flicks out. So that's the Jet Trooper. Next up we have the standard clone, which is the same as the other one, even down to the hole in the back, although you don't get a jetpack with this guy. Articulation is the same as the previous Clone Trooper, as is the weapon, although with this one you get sort of a rope or abseiling type mechanism, which we first saw with the original Clone Wars Anakin figure. You've got two handles at either end as well as a hook further down the rope. I can't actually take the elastic band off because I've wrapped it up, but you get the idea. Eventually you get to pull this apart and you'll have a really long rope and you can hook that around shelves or whatever and display this guy climbing up your shelf. So that's pretty cool. Next up we've got the Super Battle Droid. Now this Super Battle Droid is based on the deco of the droids that attack the Republic cruisers and gunships in the Season 1 episode, I believe it's Jedi Crash. These Super Battle Droids tend to fly through the air and then land on their enemies and basically rip them to shreds. The figure though is just a standard repaint of the original Super Battle Droid. The articulation remains the same as well. He's got ball jointed shoulders and elbows, a ball jointed torso and swivel hips, no articulation in the knees or ankles, and due to the fact that this guy is really large up top, he does have a tendency to fall over without a display stand. So other than that though, the deco is absolutely fantastic, definitely one of my favourites. And as you can see on the back there, you've got some Arabesh lettering, as well as what appeals to be some like grills or something. I think From what I gather, that this Aurebesh spells danger, danger, but I could be wrong. But we're getting a decent look at that. And finally, we've got what I believe to be the highlight of this battle pack, and that is the Retail Droid, or as he's technically known. Just grab the box. This is the LR57 Combat Droid. So there we go. This is a completely new sculpt of a figure. Articulation and posability on this guy is fantastic. It swivels at the top, side to side, like so, which is really cool. So you've got ball and socket joint shoulders. No articulation in the elbows on this one, but then again I don't suppose it really needs it. Don't think it has a swivel waist. It has swivel hips and ball and socket knees as well, so you can extend the height of this figure, which is really, really cool. At full height, I think this guy's around a similar height to a Kulteska, so you kind of get an idea of how big this thing is. These Retail Droids, or LR57 Combat Droids, first appear in the Clone Wars movie. They are the ones that we see on Christophsis when Anakin and Ahsoka go to disable the shield generator. The little antennas are sticking out of the ground, and Ahsoka proceeds to trip over them, and that triggers these droids to come out of the ground and start attacking Anakin and Ahsoka. So pretty cool. As I said, I like to refer to these ones as Pepsi can droids due to the shape of their head. So there we go. Before I finish up this review, as always, I'm going to show you the battle game cards that these guys come with. Here's the card for the Super Battle Droid. The Retail Droid. And finally, the Clone Troopers. So I hope you've enjoyed this review. Before I finish up, I'll give you one last look at the figures. There's the clones. And there are the droids. So I hope you've enjoyed this review. And I'll be back with another battle pack review for you next, so stay tuned for that. And until next time, keep collecting, and may the Force be with you.